Hello, welcome to Daddy and the Don. It's the Don here for the transfer show. I will be joined by Phil very shortly, and a special guest will be coming on. What are we going to talk about today? Well, as the thumbnail says, main story: the Erickson decision is imminent. Hopefully, within a few days, that we'll find out exactly what is going on with Erickson, and hopefully, it could be today. We also will be talking about Arsenal's transfer business. Regarding Jesus at the signing, which should be confirmed shortly. Frenkie De Jong, what's going on with him? A few Chelsea bits to go through. Calvin Phillips, Tottenham interested in Richarlison and Anthony Gordon. Gareth Bale, Seth Botman going to Newcastle, and we'll end with a question: who's had the best window? But we'll start off with Christian Eriksen, and I will hopefully be joined by Phil shortly, and as well as the special guest. So, anyone who'd like to join in very briefly, again, have a little chat if you want. But comments at work, have a good show. Thank you, Laura. There is the link. If you want to join, you don't have to join. It's just there for the option. And Oris Talks. Big up Oris Talks. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to his channel. Great channel. Erickson is coming to us. We will see, mate. We will see, mate. We'll get to that very shortly. So hopefully one of the lads is coming on. They are both coming on. They are coming. They've just messaged me. That's why we started 5 minutes late. And they'll both be on very shortly. But going to that story, Ericsson's decision imminent. So various sources, reliable sources, Sky Sports, Rizzo Romano have said that the decision will be made within the next few days. It is choosing between Man United and Brentford. No one else is in the running. No one else has made him an offer. So as we've been saying the whole time, a lot of it has been a lot of chaff, especially the Tottenham one. Now, no one knows exactly what he's thinking. There's a lot of what's being said now is speculation. So when you read the report, it'll say, he could be staying because he wants to stay in London. But we don't know what's being discussed. We don't know if that's something that he's deciding over. Why is he taking so long to decide? Well, we'll see. Obviously, once Jay the guest, we're giving it away now, and Phil come on, I will go through this again. It's like we've been talking about this for the last 3 weeks now. But my opinion, before I do ask any questions, I think it's going to be a tough one because Man United might not be the Man United of old, but it's still Manchester United, and the opportunity to go play there with a manager he knows, but not very well. I think that's been overblown and nonsense. But he knows him. It's going to be hard for him to say no. But I think what Brentford did for him, his relationship with Frank, and the fact he knows a few of the players, and the fact that he's settled and wants to be in London, is a big part of why I think that could sway to Brentford. Anyway, enough of me. Host, here he is. Hello, Phil.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, I only just started, buddy. Graham, you grumpy, cheer up, lad. Jesus is about to be announced. Yeah, we'll get to that. I am happy. I'm just being serious. Cheers, Oris. Big up you, mate. I appreciate the support. So, obviously, I've just talked about Erickson. Now, obviously, various reports, and these are reliable ones, are saying that he's choosing between Man United and Brentford. And now Fabrizio, my boy, has confirmed that the decision could be made within days. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow, but he expects it within this week. He's expected to tell his agent where he wants to go. Now, where do you think he will go and why?
Well, when it all started, I'm leaning towards Brentford more than anyone. Obviously, Tottenham are out of the running now, so again, I would have said strongly favoured Brentford because of what he said publicly in the past. But it's just a bit that worries me if I was a Brentford fan is that offer was on the table a good while ago, kept getting pushed back in terms of the decision being made. So the only reason he can't be making the decision is because he's thinking about these other offers that are on the table, so the Man United deal. So he must be thinking about it. So that's the only thing on my mind there, that he's got a quandary, hasn't he? If it was black and white, he wants to stay in London, and that's all he did, just signed the Brentford deal by now. So that Brentford deal was there before the international break. And now, obviously, Man United have thrown their weight in, and he's, like you say, he's got a choice to make. So you'd like to think it'll be Brentford, but it's just that, I suppose, when do you get a chance to play, say, like, I know they're not in the Champions League, but like a local big team. Again, this could be like his last potential transfer to get into that year, isn't it? But it just depends on what he wants to do, really, isn't it? If he's happy at Brentford, he's happy with the way he played, and he just wants to get in the Denmark team, He's got all the boys around him. So, like I say, happy wife. His wife's happy in Richmond, but obviously we don't know what they're offering him, do we? So
yeah, well, the reports say they're both. Sorry, Phil. Reports say they're both offered very decent contracts. There's not much between them. Now, I do think it's the fact is it's Man United. That's why he's probably thinking it. But he did say that regardless of what Brentford offered, he was always going to wait for the international break. Now, Man United fans would expect him to sign for him. If he does sign for Brentford and Man United, the fans, apart from Brentford fans and people who know football like me and you, will start laughing at Man United. But I don't think Man United should be embarrassed if he picks Brentford, because if he does pick Brentford, it is mainly because he's happy there. He realises that's probably his best chance to be in the Denmark team. And it's very simple. He just doesn't want to leave London. That's probably what it is, and he's in a stage where it's not all about the money. It's about representing his country at the World Cup. And if he goes to Man United, he's a great player, but he plays the same position as Fernandes and Van der Beek. And can you see him playing in front of him too? Can you?
And you've got to look at it. If De Jong goes through, which is highly likely, that's like another midfielder in there, isn't it? So
he's more central midfield though, where the other
he moves someone else around to accommodate De Jong playing. So it's just another body in midfield. Might result, and then it's not going to work. He's not going to have that free role that he gets at the moment.
Yeah, and it's gonna. I think it's another reason why he's thinking about it. Brentford fans and Jay and Marvin in particular are very, very confident. They are very, very confident. They feel that they're opposite to you. I think the longer it goes, the more likely they'll come to Brentford. I couldn't tell you. Obviously, one thing that was for sure is that a lot of these rumours were bollocks. West Ham and Everton and Newcastle and Tottenham. No one else made an offer. The only teams that made offers were the team he's decided between. Now, I think any other team apart from Man United outside of London probably would have said no. He wouldn't have gone to Everton or Newcastle. I think it's only because of who it is, and we can laugh at Man United all you want, but it's still Man United. An opportunity to play for that historic club is something that maybe he can't turn down. But we don't know what his wife was probably like. Have a think. But I can't see him. I can't see him relocating. That's my main thing. I just can't see him relocating. I think sometimes.
I know he didn't play under Ten Hag. Like, it was before his time at Ajax. But when he finished with Inter, he had the heart issue. It was Ten Hag that invited him in to train with Ajax, his old team. Yeah. So obviously he's close to Frank. He owes a lot to Brentford for giving him an actual playing contract. So they're the first ones to actually give him a way back into football.
Yeah.
But then potentially the step before that, Ten Hag's given a chance to actually train and see if he's still got it.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's got two people that it's probably not even to do with the clubs. It's to do with the two people that have given him a chance.
Yeah, exactly. There's that decision where he's got to think. Now, we will get back to this because we can't talk all day because we've got a few to get through, and we don't need to go on forever. So we will briefly go back to when Jay comes on. But yes or no? No, sorry, not yes or no. Man United or Brentford? Who's you going to, Phil? Come on.
I'll be going with Brentford, but just like on the nose, basically, just to by a neck.
Brentford on the nose.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Brentford just because of the location. I think if he wasn't bothered about it, he probably would have picked Man United. No offense to Brentford, it's Man United, but I don't think he wants to move. I think he's happy where he is. So I think it's logical that he stays at Brentford.
You can play where you are and be a god,
or
you can go somewhere else and probably eat a considerable amount of bench.
Exactly. And is he going to want to do that? I don't think he will. I think he wants
to play football.
He didn't play football for nearly, 7-8 months. So, come on, he wants to play football, simple as.
He didn't really play a lot towards the end of Spurs and during his time at Inter Milan either.
No, he didn't. He only played half the season and he didn't play to the end.
Probably the most minutes per game he's averaged in the last 3 years.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Exactly. We will go back to this, but for now, I think we're both on the agreement. We think it's going to be Brentford on the nod. Anyway, moving on. Arsenal, a few Arsenal bits. The main one here, Jesus at Arsenal, 100% done, waiting confirmation. This has been confirmed for Fabrizio Romano, and now Sky Sports are now confirming it. He's signing to do a medical, but everything's in place. He's going to sign for Arsenal for 45 million. It's a great signing. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, like I was saying when I messaged you, it's probably as high calibre a striker that you can get being outside the Champions League at the moment. If you look at like all the competition around, if you were going for big names, you're probably not going to get them. But Jesus has done it in the. But I know he had more chances to get goals playing for Man City. You're a Man City striker, you're going to get 20 goals standing on your head, but you know he can play in the Prem. All of the goals weren't put on a plate for him. He's scored some goals in his time where he's had to like dig City out of a hole at times and stuff. So he's playing against those same back fours, and it's not like he's going to like an alien league where he doesn't know what he's doing. 45 million is not a massive fee. I think you spent just more than that on Ben White last year. So considering you're solving your main issue, which is centre forward, for that price, and just like if you'd signed Vlahovic about 80 million, that was going to cost for someone you wouldn't know if he was going to do it. So you've got someone that you know, if he doesn't score a shitload of goals, he's going to be good for about 15 goals, isn't he?
Yeah, but he scores a decent amount from the right wing. He's now going to be given opportunity where he started his career up front. That's the main reason why he's coming, because he's going to be the number 9. I think I speak for the majority of Arsenal fans, proper fans who say, thank fuck, he's going to start number 9 and not Eddie Nketiah. He'll get the chances and he'll score the goals. He's always been a solid player.
Like Bobby Firmino at Liverpool. He played centre, but the two around him got more goals because of the link-up play. So if he scores 15 goals and then Saka, Martinelli and Smith Rowe get an extra 5 goals each per season because of him actually being a proper line, then that's everyone's happy then, aren't they?
Exactly. I think this is a great signing for Arsenal. I'm very happy.
About 200 about that? So about the wages is about 200k.
I don't know the wages, but that's probably about right. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't it. And Arsenal realise now you've got to compete. You've got to compete. We're spending money, very similar to the Man United fans. You know, our fans moaning about the owners. We've been spending money the last 3 years. I don't know what the problem with the owners. They care. It's just the recruitment hasn't been there before. Probably Edu. Listen, Edu's doing quite well here. This is quite a coup because he could have easily have gone to Tottenham and Chelsea. He's chose Arsenal. I think that's because he's been, he knows he's going to start. He ain't going to start on the up front for Tottenham. He'll probably get a game. He'll probably start for Tottenham because Clever Kleski's only on loan, so he would have probably started. But I think he wants to play up top. I think that's his position he wants, and I think we can guarantee him it. Brazilian connection, and it's a great signing. It's a sign of intent. It's something that we're going to be very happy about. Will it get us top 4? Well, we'll see. We need to continue to add on. But you've got to remember, other teams around us have still got to strengthen. So, great signing. I'm very happy. But, of course, I'm not getting carried away. Do you think this is the start of a great window for Arsenal? Or do you think this could just be the only big signing? I know we've got some more deals, but do you reckon this is not the only one coming in?
Well, the ones you've made already, apart from Fieri, a little bit. But the other two you've spent no money on. So.
And they're backups. Marquinhos is probably going to go on loan, and Turner is going to be the backup. And they only cost, 6 million between them?
If they come in and play a bit and they're rubbish, it's no harm done because that money is change, isn't it? Where if they come in and they're half decent, then it's happy days, isn't it?
Yeah, and with Gabriel Vieira, he's going to be the backup to Odegaard, so I don't mind that. A lot of money for what he is. But you're right. If we can get a couple of other players in, the right ones, then it's more steps in the right direction.
Because I going back to it again, like refunding, I'd cut them because you do players for combined like 10 million. You could just replace those with 10, 15 millions worth of bang average players that are younger.
Yeah,
a bit more promise.
Exactly. Hello, Jay. Thanks for coming on, mate. As you can see, Jesus at Arsenal, 100% done, apparently, waiting confirmation. I know you're not our biggest fan, but I think even you've admitted this is a great signing.
Yeah. I think it is proven Prem quality, a little bit something different for Arsenal. Because like I say, I think they always go abroad, which is nothing wrong with that. But yeah, bit of proven. I don't think he's always scored goals at Man City, but I don't know if he didn't get a run in the team. Like, I don't think really anyone does there, but unless you're De Bruyne or whatever. So yeah, I think if he game week out for Arsenal, he could be lethal next year.
Yeah, and if he's given an opportunity as number 9, I think that's where he will really impress, because he's been scoring a decent amount of goals on the right wing for the last couple of years. So if given the service, I think he can definitely help us possibly get to top 4. But obviously, it's not we can't just rely on him. We need to carry on. But it's a sign of intent that we've been able to get him in. Anyway, I'll move on to. I want to go back to the question Jay's already used to this one. So we spoke about it briefly, Jay. How's your thoughts? How's your nerves? And are you still convinced you're going to stay?
I'm fine, mate. I'm just a bit bored of it because it's kind of overshadowing any other transfers we might be doing. Do you know what I mean? So if he comes, if he comes, it's amazing. I do think he will. I've said that the whole time. But do you know what I mean? He's not the only player in the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we can sign someone as good as him, but you do have to go. If he's coming, sweet. If he's not, let's move on from it. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I read something now, and it's like why Erickson would be perfect for Everton. It's like, come on, man, fucking hell. He's not even almost going there. This is just shit reporting now, isn't it? Like
the thing that I was saying to Phil said, the only reason why he's considering Man United because it's Man United. I think he'd be daft not to think about it. I think he would have said no to Newcastle and Everton in a heartbeat because let's be honest, they're mid-table teams. New Man United are an attraction. Yes, we can slag them off. We can all take the piss out of them, but it's still Man United, and it's still a team that everyone wants to play for at some point in their career. So I think that's why he's probably having to think of it. But I think the main factor is the location. He's made it very clear he wants to stay in London. So I think he'll rather think about it. But both the deals that have been offered are very similar. There's not much difference in his money. So again, you've said it all along. You've been very confident. So is Marvin. So is Dougie. So is Laura. They've all been confident. Again, we've asked these questions, but when do you think this will be announced? And if it is the case he stays, how much of a boost that will be for going into the next season?
Well, the pre-season starts this week for Prem, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't see it going on longer than this week. I think he'll want a full pre-season wherever it's at. And I think his main goal was that he wants to play for Denmark in a World Cup. And I just don't see any advantage for playing for United because he's a very similar player to Bruno in terms of they can pick a pass and it's the same position. So Man United can't have both of them on the pitch. It's not possible. So it's whether he gets assurances that he's going to play week in, week out and get enough game time. The Denmark manager already said to the centre-back at Leicester, you ain't getting enough game time. He's not saying you have to move club, but if you want to play in the World Cup, you need to be fit, ready and kind of firing all cylinders. So I think that's going to be massive in Ericsson's mind as well. And can he get that from Man United and not upset other players? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Bit of news been hovering around from a lot of the Brentford fan pages. I don't know how reliable this is, but apparently the Hickey deal is back on. Again, I don't have any reliable sources, but a lot of reports are saying that Brentford are looking like they're looking closer to buy it. If that is the case, are you happy, or would you rather not buy him now with the bollocks that's been going around?
No, you got to trust the club that I think they've offered 14 or 15 million plus add-ons or something. So it's very close to 20 that Bologna said they wanted, but I think they're just being cheeky bastards. And I think he's more than likely going to come with what we've offered. It's just how long Bologna hold that out, and because obviously they've tried it with the Arsenal so-called link. They're trying to push up the price, see who else is interested, and it don't seem like anyone else is, to be honest. So I think they'll take that 14, 15 million and be happy. But yeah, I've got to trust the club that they know who they're spending money on. Do you know what I mean? That'll be our most expensive signing, another defender. So you've got to trust that he's got some real quality in him.
And he's versatile as well. And I said this all along. The source that I've got, Arsenal were never interested. Apparently, Bologna made the bollocks up. They make Brentford push and panic. Brentford know what they're doing. They're not going to panic. If they don't, they're not willing to accept the offer. They move on. But it looks like Brentford have potentially put a breakthrough in. One more question on Brentford, Jay. Ben Rama, still confident that possibly there could be a transfer, or is it a bit more hope? Because they're bringing players in West Ham. Lingard looked like he's coming in. So
yeah. I don't know, to be honest. I'm getting a bit, just from what I'm reading, the reports are a bit mixed whether he's wanted at West Ham or not. I can't even fucking remember the user's name. I know someone's just left who is in a similar position. So
Yarmolenko, isn't it?
nah. Oh, I can't remember. Don't matter. So yeah, they may keep him. It's whether he goes, do I want more game time, or am I just pissed off that Moyes don't like me? Because it can get a bit frustrating as a player like that, kind of being held back a bit, which I think Moyes does hold him back because he doesn't like that flair and he doesn't give him that opportunity to do what he wants. Whether he'll come back to us or not, I don't know. Like I said, if you're Ben Rama, you go, I fucking like playing at Brentford. West Ham want to let me go for a similar money. We buy back someone, make no loss, no profit on him, but we've got a better player back who played better with us because we let him express himself. Do you know what I mean? Who has a good relationship with the manager. So if he's not wanted there, if you were his agent, you'd be like, let's ask Brentford. If not, we'll see who else wants us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, we'll just move on. Just very briefly on Arsenal news because we got a lot of going on. There's a lot of news coming out today. Martinez second bid offers, Rafinha negotiations ongoing, and we signed Matt Turner, which is just basically a backup. So fair play to getting someone in because I think Leno's going to go. I've said this very numerously. I actually don't want Rafinha. I just don't think we need him. I don't think it's a smart move. I'm not saying he isn't a good player. He's a good player, but I just don't understand the logic in buying someone where you've bought an 18-year-old Brazilian. Pepe's shit, but he's good enough to fill in for Saka. You've got two players on the left side. You bought Fabio Vieira, who can play everywhere on the front, anywhere in midfield apart from up front. So he's another one who could play in it. I just don't get why we need Rafinha. And a lot of people are getting excited. If we signed him, I would be. I'll go with you, Phil. Do you think we need him? And do you think he will choose Arsenal? Or do you think he could end up going to someone else, like maybe Chelsea?
Like I said from the beginning, I wouldn't even want him at Palace just because of the way his behaviour was. I think you can be the good player in the world when you start misbehaving and like disrespecting the club. Really, like you did a stream before and Geordie was saying, "Oh, he just needs to fuck off to Barcelona before that last game." Then they beat 10-9-man bloody Brentford, and then he was like, "Oh, he's got to be player of the season." And you think, what? Just because he scored a goal against 9-10 men, now he's redeemed himself? No, he hasn't.
Yeah.
So I could just see it, especially at Arsenal, because Arteta doesn't, as much as you take the piss out of him, he doesn't stand for any of that bollocks, does he? As soon as a player steps out of line, cuts with them. So yeah, I just don't think it'd work out. Going to be a waste of money still, because what's it going to cost?
60 million at least.
So you've already got players that are as good as him or better than him, and how many headaches have you seen over Saka?
Yeah, no, because it's
dressing room, even with the whole Arsenal team, you used to get all that negativity and stuff. I haven't seen any since they got rid of Aubameyang. I haven't seen anything the last 6 months that there's like trouble in the hierarchy or in the dressing room. So
it's got the squad he wants, and I think they're bringing players in that maybe they can rely on. And I just don't think Rafinha is that sort of player. Jay, do you think it would be a good signing, Rafinha, if he did sign?
Look, I agree with Phil. I think his attitude stinks. So would I want him? No, but I think you've got to look at you've got European games now as well, and I'm a defo believer that you kind of need 1.5 teams to play in Europe and the Prem. You kind of need your core base, but then when you play in Europe, you kind of need to change it up a bit so that you're fresh for the Prem still, because you still want to push on for that Champions League. And although Europe, do you know what I mean, it's exciting to get a run on. Could potentially win it. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason why you couldn't. Europa, obviously. But I think the main priority is the Champions League still. So if he comes and you say, look, you're gonna play every European game and be a bench warmer in the Prem, I think why not? Because he does have that skill set, but he is also a knobhead. So do you want him disrupting your changing room?
I think it's one of them deals. I wouldn't be too bothered what happens. I wouldn't be that mad if he didn't sign. I generally wouldn't. He comes in, probably be the end of Pepe, and then it'd be a case of rotating, because Saka's going to play. If they're spending 60 million, you like to think he'd have to play Rafinha. So it's a headache that I didn't think we need. Again, with Martinez, obviously Holding's going. That's why Martinez is coming in. I only know Martinez from Football Manager. I knew he was a player. I've never seen him play. So apparently his versatility, he can play left back. So maybe that's why he's coming in. But anything else you want to add on any of these subjects, or do you want to move on, guys? Anything about Arsenal?
No, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
Playing left back, yeah.
Fucking Tavares is going. Thank fuck for that. He's shit. I said that all along, by the way. You know, I did get things right. Anyway, Frenkie De Jong to Man United still ongoing. Reports today saying that Maguire part of the deal. So apparently, according to reports, Barcelona want 80 million and Maguire. Man United are not willing to pay that amount, but they never said they didn't want to give Maguire up. But now they're looking just to try into the 16. They're trying to sign a 69 million deal now. So I'm not going to ask you about De Jong. I've already spoken to you both about. I think it'd be a great signing. But if you were Man United, if you could get a lower asking price, would you still offer Maguire? I'll go with you, Jay. If Man United said 40 million Maguire, would that be a bad deal?
Nah, no. Yeah, definitely be a bad deal. Just one, for the fact of the amount they spent on Maguire, saying Frenkie De Jong is worth 120 million. And also, I think Maguire's had a bad rep. Like, I think people have overanalyzed him. He's had a few stinkers, which have led to other stinkers because he sees he's getting mugged off as well. But genuinely, I don't think he's that bad a player. Like, he was in a very, like, let's just take the piss out of Man United team by Man United fans. And I think he's just caught the bad end of a shitty stick, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think he should definitely stay at United. He's definitely a player who could add something for them. But yeah, he obviously had a few stinkers last year.
What do you reckon, Phil?
Yeah, well, like Jay was saying, like, as much as he gets the piss taken out of it, I think it all blew up for him when he was having a bad run of form and then he scored that goal against, was it San Marino or Andorra or someone?
Albania.
Yeah, and he ran up and gave it all the large, didn't he? Like, as if he's just like won the Ballon d'Or or something. That helped. But when you look at all his defensive partners since he's been there, so he's had like Bailly, Lindelof, Varane, yeah, they're his main ones. None of them have been fit. He's played every game. He's had to get used to a different partner every time as well, hasn't he? So if none of them are fit, yeah, maybe he's making the howlers, but are those players putting him in a position to make mistakes, maybe? Because he's not got like a regular playing partner. So if they went out and just said, right, the Varane thing hasn't worked, we're just going to go out and sign you another, sort of like, say they've got Wesley Fofana from Leicester as well, and just said, we're just going to get someone in, played with a bit before, and just going to have a partnership, you probably see less mistakes. And like, that's what I was saying, why Erickson would potentially turn down United, because there's playing at Man United that don't want to play for Man United. So why would everyone's left this year? So many players have gone, so they're all like fighting to get out. So what's going to actually attract players to come in? If you've got like players there, like say Paul Pogba has been trying to get out of that club for the last 2 years. So as Man United, how are you going to attract players of Pogba quality to come and replace him if he doesn't want to be there?
Exactly. We won't carry too much on this one. De Jong, I'll go to you again, Jay. If he does sign, I think that is a great signing because it's an upgrade to Freddie McTominay. But regardless of what they do here, do you think it won't really matter too much in the spectrum of next year?
So they're just talking about the signing, the selling fee at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think personal terms are going to be hard for him because is he not going to want to play Champions? He's going to want to play Champions League football or Europa even, isn't he? I think Man United have fucked himself by finishing where they did. So we'll see if they agree personal terms with him. To be honest, like if you were Frenkie, would you go from Barcelona to Man United? I don't know at the moment. It's a tough one, isn't it? I've said it all along. I think Man United fans are turning into how Arsenal fans were for a bit when Wenger left, and they feel like they're a God-given right to finish a top 3 every season, and like if they don't, then it's all fucking turmoil, and the Glazers are cunts, and they've never spent any money, and it's their fault that the team aren't performing. When to be honest, they're the people that write the checks, and they've been doing that for years. So they should appreciate it and actually say there's something else wrong with the club. Is potentially Fergie being on the board wrong for the club because everyone's still kind of listening to him, and he doesn't have that dressing room power anymore. He just has that boardroom power, and the players aren't getting kind of what is coming down. Do you know what I mean? So I think Fergie on the board is actually doing something that is detrimental to the club. because he definitely said, let's get Ollie in, let's give him a full-time contract. And I was watching Orest and all the other United fans the other day, and they were going, oh, well, he's only on the board. Well, no, you can be very, very influential on the board and kind of sway other people's votes and kind of have pressure in that sort of sense. So I think there's something inside the club that is a bit rotten. And I don't know. If you were Frankie, would you want to go United at the moment?
No.
Can you see United improving someone's career? Because they haven't done it with Pogba, arguably, from a lot of people's point of view, a great talent. I've never really rated him, to be honest. I think he's only good when he gets time on the ball. He doesn't work hard enough for the team at all. But do you know what I mean? I can't see who they've developed in the last few years. When I used to support United before Brentford, before when I was 15, like younger than 15, and constantly there'd be a fresh new guy. Oh, this is the next Ronaldo, Nani, for example. And then you had Rafael and Fabio left and right back. I'm not saying but there were players coming through who people thought, oh, these are the young kids breaking into the first team. And I just don't see United having any of that quality at the moment. So, yeah, if you're a young player, are you going to be developed there? Don't think so.
But what happened to Wan-Bissaka just in a year?
Yeah, it's fact.
He had the world at his feet that first full season at Palace. Everyone was singing his praises. Got that big move, but then he's just been mismanaged for the whole of his United career. He hasn't been coached properly.
He had a good first year, but it's just
but that's still rolling on from like when you land at a new club and you've been coached. It's like if you stop training, Usain Bolt stops training, he'll still win his next few races, but 6 months down the line, he's done no training. He's going to get found out, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. I think Jamie said it on a previous video. He said the players just look like they've been uncoached for a very long time, and it's not an easy fix. And they're putting a lot of pressure on, Ten Hag's revolution. Like, all right, calm down. Like, he ain't Conte. He hasn't won the Champions League, like, however X many times. Like, he's come from a very bang average league. Calm down. Wait till you see before you get excited about different man's revolution and that.
Does make sense as well, because like Ronaldo, he hit the ground running when he came back because he still was carrying his form from before. Yeah. And then the further it went in, goals were becoming harder for him as well. So you can see if like the best player in the world struggling for goals, there's an issue.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we'll move on. Chelsea news. So Chelsea want Sterling. Apparently that's 100% official. It's not rumours. Second bid being prepared. There's some other news there. Lukaku's going back to Inter, we all know that. And Richarlison's an interest. But Phil, Sterling's second bid, it looks like it's going to happen if they offer the right money. Is this a good move for Chelsea or is this a bad move?
Well, I think he'd do all right there. It's sort of like you're just buying something it does what it says on the tin, isn't it? Like with the Premiership quality. Getting guaranteed 15 goals, 10, whatever. You haven't got to worry about it. It's not a massive amount of money they're going to be paying either. Going to get a good, what's he, 27, 28 now?
Yeah.
Get a good 3 to 4 years out of him, aren't they? So I think just good all round. Pep doesn't want him.
Makes sense.
Chelsea, they've got players, but they need players that, like if you look at Raheem Sterling, as much I've been a critic of him before, but you need someone that's like a Premiership leader. Someone he's got like a 10-year career in the Premier now, hasn't he? So he's been there and done everything. When players come in, you need someone in there, like integrates them and actually gets the team going. Chelsea brought a lot of players in a short amount of time, all from sort of different leagues, and you used to have Terry and Lampard there to sort of Premier League them, if that made sense. Where now it's sort of like the players have all come in, there's been quite management changes. So you just need someone that's got a head on his shoulders and knows what he's doing, I suppose.
Yeah, Jay, are you in agreement this could be actually a bit of a gem, or do you think it's a bit of a risk?
No, I think it's a great deal for Chelsea. Like Phil says, it's not a massive amount of money, and you've already got a bedded in Premier League player who wants to. I think the World Cup is going to be very impactful for a lot of players at the beginning of the season. They all want to prove themselves, and getting a regular run of games at Chelsea is going to do that for him. He's another player like Jesus who probably didn't get enough run of games at Man City, and I think that kind of, don't get me wrong, they won the Prem, but I think that's a little bit Man City's downfall in the way is We want to see 40 plus games from players. We want to see 25 plus goals. Whereas Man City spread the goals around like 10 each between 10 players, rather than, do you know what I mean? Ivan Toney getting at fifth. How many fucking did he get last year? 13 or something. Yeah, 14. So, and the rest of the players getting 3 or 4. Do you know what I mean? So that's how they spread their goals around. So I think he adds assists, puts the balls in the right place, can score, runs at players. Yeah, I think he's very good, and he's going to be a good partnership for Reece James as well. So yeah, Sterling, very good signing, astute.
There is a Richarlison interest. I don't know if that's true. I personally don't think that would be a good fit for him, because I think he's very similar to Rafinha in the sense he's a bit of a dick. All these Brazilians are dicks, aren't they? Him, Neymar, they're great players, but they're drama queens. We all know Lukaku's on his way. I think we've spoken about it already. But is it just a bit of a frustration that he's not been able to fit in there? I know we've spoken to you on many occasions before, but Jay, is it annoying that he's not been able to do it at Chelsea? Just for the Prem, really, because we know how good he can be.
Yeah, I don't know if it's annoying. Yeah, he can be good, but again, I just don't like shitty attitudes, and him giving shitty interviews halfway through a season. Just kind of, don't even support Chelsea, but it just doesn't sit well with me. So yeah, I think it's good you get the bad wood out of Chelsea. So yeah, he's one of those frustrating ones, Lukaku, because you thought he was going to be consistently a world beater, and he doesn't seem to have been like that. Maybe he's had it too easy in the Italian league, and then came back and he thought he could walk it, and found out, even though he's been in the Prem, found out that actually it's still as hard as when he left, and that he's not got better as a player. He just had more time on the fucking ball.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same with Spain. That's why Xavi and Iniesta are overrated. Phil, I will ask you about Richarlison.
Looked a bit heavier as well, didn't he, Lukaku, when he came back?
Yeah. Anyway, Everton 0, Richarlison and Anthony Gordon reportedly Spurs' next target, seeking a double sweep. So, Phil, Richarlison, Chelsea's been linked, but Scotland are definitely interested. And Anthony Gordon, who's a very good young player, is this good signings if Tottenham got him in, regardless if it's Richarlison's a dick?
I'd say Anthony Gordon, yes. But the Richarlison one, again, I just don't see... If Kulusevski is there on a permanent, I don't see what he adds to that top three. I think that's just an amazing front three if they keep... They are. They're strengthened in centre mid.
But it's the Champions League, though. They will need another player. If Bird one goes, Moore has passed it. I think Richarlison, even if he doesn't start, he's someone that will play.
Do you not think his arrogance, though, will go to a club to be a bit like what Jay just said about someone that's going to play all the Europa Cup games? I don't think Rafinha or Richarlison's ego will let them go to be that player. They'll want to go somewhere. If he went to Barcelona, Rafinha, he'd do whatever he's told because it's Barcelona. But in the English team, he's going to have an arrogance. Like Richarlison's been starting every game for Everton, hasn't he? Obviously, there's a reason you're playing for Everton. How long's he been there for now? It's a good, 5 years?
4, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah. So there's always been people interested in him, but no one's ever gone out and spent the big money on him. So for me, that's always
a sign.
Something I think of, that people owners must not like him. They all hear rumours, don't they? When they all speak to each other, don't they? So when you've got a bad egg, everyone in the league does know about it behind closed doors. So I think there's a reason he's stayed at Everton that long, and I don't think Tottenham would assign him. The Anthony Gordon one, again, I see that being a good deal if they get him, but Richarlison, not for me.
What do you reckon, Jay?
Yeah, so I'm just having a look at his numbers. I don't rate Richarlison at all. I don't think I understand the hype. How old is he? 25.
25, I think.
He had 2 good seasons where he got 13 goals and then he got 7 and a 10, which is okay. But if he's been in the Prem for 5 years, I think you need to push on from then, to be honest. And if anything, his goals have gone a bit backwards. I know Everton were rocky last year, but I think they still got good balls in the box. I think Anthony Gordon does have something about him. I think he's still very raw. So I don't think he'll be starting for Spurs. So whether he'll go there, because he's an Everton fan as well, I believe. So, yeah, I can see him staying at Everton because he's not going to start every game for Spurs. He's got a lot of developing to do. for when we beat them when we were down to 10 men. He was left wanting at the near post, at the back post, and kind of switched off for a bit. So defensively, he's got a lot to work on. So yeah, good signing, but will he go? I can't see it because he's an Everton fan. He'll probably want to stay with Frank. He's got a few years in him. But yeah, Richarlison, I just don't see the hype. I think it's a lot of Brazilian players get labelled as good when they're not necessarily that good.
Neymar.
I think him getting a lot of games for the national team inflated his ego as well, because Brazil, what they've done a lot, they don't play their first team, they play a lot of the second tier ones, don't they, in these qualifying tournaments. But he's played a hell of a lot of games in the last 2-3 years for Brazil. Scored quite a few as well, I think. But if you're there playing number 9 for Brazil, you're then thinking, oh right, I'm the man. You're like, no, you're just keeping that chair warm for someone else when it gets around to World Cup.
And also, Brazil aren't the force that they used to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coming up against the Brazil team it's not scary, is it, anymore?
Yeah, they're not free scoring like they used to be.
They've got a lot of options in that area, don't get me wrong. But I like Richarlison, but there is a limit to him. He isn't as good as what people say. He's a good player. He's at his level at the moment. You know, Everton are a mid-table team. But if Tottenham spent a lot of money on him, it would be a mistake. I think Andy Gordon won't go. But he would be a good signing because he knows that he won't start, but he knows that he'll be someone that will eventually take up his son, who's at 29. I don't see this one moving. I think this one will go dead in the water, personally. Going to a deal that I know Jay won't like, Calvin Phillips going to Man City. I think it's a good deal. I think he's a decent player. And I think it's actually a good amount of money for what it is because he's English. He could have easily been 80, 90 million. Seriously, it could have generally been that much. I'm not saying he's worth that. Of course he's not. I don't think he's worth 45. But obviously, it's somewhere where he wants to improve the midfield. He wants someone else rather than Rodri. I'll go with you, Phil, first. Is this a good deal for Phillips or is it a mistake?
What I would have said he's playing at Leeds. Well, he didn't play last season, really, because he was injured. Jay said on a previous show, Pep doesn't like people to get injured. So that already looks like it started off on the wrong foot. So if Newcastle had gone and bought him, that would have been good on both parties because Newcastle are looking to break into like the European spots and he's looking to go up a notch from where he is. So I think that one would have worked out well. Even if it was for the same price, I'd have said everyone would have been happy with that deal. But obviously he's not going to say no to Man City because let's face it, like a couple of years ago when he was in the Championship, did he ever dream that he could win the Premier League and play for England? Probably not. So it's like all players. When City and Liverpool come knocking, you're not going to turn them down. But I think more like it's a mistake on City's part for taking him because, like Jay said last time, they've got Rodri already. If they want to, I know Fernandinho retired, so was that a need? They've got a lot of players that can play in these different positions. So
I think they're short there, though. I think they did need a midfielder. Personally.
Yeah, but I think you go and buy like they're buying like everyone else's starters as their backups, aren't they? Like with Grealish, he came in and rotated. Like no one else would be able to pay 100 million for Grealish and not play him.
Yeah.
So it's just
100%.
I'm finding like, do these players just want a trophy cabinet, or do they want to actually look back on a career that they contributed?
Yeah, but you've got to have belief in yourself. He obviously generally believes he's good enough to be in that first team. Is he? No, but he obviously believes he is good enough. So yes, it's a bit of a strange one for me because I don't think he'll start. Go on, Jay. Sorry, mate.
But I think that can hold you back. That arrogance and belief of like you've got to believe you're good enough. But at the same time, if you ain't getting regular game time, I know Southgate picks his favourites. He doesn't. Nagisa says he goes on form, but then doesn't pick on form at all. But Phillips, like, if he's not getting regular game time, logically, would you go? Are you gonna get a good shot at going to the World Cup? Because if he hasn't proven himself in the first half of the season and he's just trying to bake into the Man City first team, he's going to fuck himself. And on the trophy cabinet bit, like Phil's right. Like Bale this year got another Champions League to his name, but how many games did he play in the actual Champions League? Like, it's a bit of a myth, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, and the thing is, well, you know, Kovacic for Chelsea, he's never played in the Champions League final, and he's got 4. So the thing with Calvin Phillips is he's lucky because our English manager is a dick. He'll go regardless. He'll pick the players. Stones, him, Sterling, and Grealish might not all start. They could be on the bench the whole season. He'll pick all four. So I think he feels he's untouchable. I think it's a mistake for his career, but at the same time, if Roger gets injured, he plays the whole season, and he's fucking laughing at us. Don't see that happening. But
I think they'll struggle if Calvin Phillips plays the whole season. I personally think he's a player who he's doing his best at Leeds, and if he goes to another fit team, I don't think he'll be able to fit in.
Yeah.
Just personally how it is, because he's been at Leeds a long time. He knows the system. He knows everyone around. He feels comfortable there. Don't get it wrong. You've got to take yourself out of your comfort zone and go to another club sometime. But sometimes you've got to walk before you can run. And from Leeds to Man City is a massive step. Villa were performing at a higher level than Leeds have been when Grealish went there. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a big step for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phil,
I think one should be a step in between that move, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And also take this as a what if, yeah. So he goes to City, he doesn't play a single minute. He goes to the World Cup, he starts, and he's dog shit. He plays really bad because he's got no form. What's that going to do to his career then?
Yeah, he's going down the pan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you know, even Gareth can't ignore that.
And that could happen with a lot of the players, like you just mentioned, Graham. If they all don't play,
none of them start all the time, do they? Sterling goes to Chelsea. That's fine. I think he'll start. He'll play and he'll score goals. Stones rotates with Laporte and Diaz. Maguire wasn't starting at the end. Yes, new manager, forget about that. But you know, there's players that won't play that will go. And if Phillips doesn't play, right now you're looking at it, he should be starting. You know, if Henderson plays and Rice, it'll be them two for me. But he will look to play Phillips. But Phillips, strange one. It's a strange one for Phillips. He should have gone to someone like West Ham or Villa. That's the.
But what's he really got apart from energy and okay at tackling? He doesn't have a pass in him.
No.
And like I say, he's okay at tackling. He's not like Norgard. Yeah, and obviously he's not English, but he's not like most interceptions in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know he's been injured, but it's just average numbers for me.
I think it's because he started for England in the Euros. There's more hype on him. I think if he
Mark just made a comment, and it's probably Man City trying to fill their quota, and I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah. If you compare him to Rice, who he plays next to in England, so you go a lot on stats, don't you, Jay? So you're going to look at like you say, interceptions, tackles, aerials. I don't think he's that good in the air. And then obviously like goal contributions. Declan Rice, I know some of them penalties, but he pops up in the box, doesn't he? I don't see Calvin Phillips as that player that comes up as an extra attacker and adds a threat.
Yeah, he doesn't get goals. There's a lot of things he doesn't do for me. Do you know what I mean?
But we'll see. Time will tell. We'll move on. Newcastle made another signing. Seth Botman, 37 million. Now, it's a lot of money. Jay, how have you rated their business? But I'm asking because of what the money. So they bought Nick Pope, target permanently, and now they've signed a Dutch defender who's very highly rated for a lot of money. Do you see them improving, or do you think these are a bit of reaches because they've got money?
Look, Man City are proven if you spend money in the right way, you can do very, very well. And Man United are proven that you can spend money and do it very, very badly. It all depends how they're coached and kind of the system that they go into. £37 million for a centre-back is a lot of money. Considering they spent 90 odd in January, I think FFP might be catching up with them a little bit soon, and I can't see them signing too many players after this, but fuck knows what dodgy deals they do behind the scenes. I've not seen a geezer play, I won't lie to you, but yeah, 37 million is a lot. But he's highly rated, and they've been chasing him since January, so you would have liked to think they've done their due diligence on him. Yeah,
Phil, what do you reckon on this one?
They'll sell the stadium rights before financial fair play becomes an issue, because Sports Direct Stadium was to do with Mike Ashley, wasn't it? So they'll buy him out of it, use that Saudi money to then rename the stadium, and all the money just goes back into the books.
Okay, there you go.
It's like what all the Emirates, apart from Arsenal, like PSG and stuff, they just pump all that money in dodgily, don't they? Same with Etihad Stadium. That's all funded by the owners, all just recycling their own sort of dirty money, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think I saw somewhere that everyone was like, "Oh, Haaland was cheap, 52 million or whatever it was," and then someone was like, "Yeah, 20 million to his dad, 30 million sign-on fee, and all this other bullshit, which adds up to like 150." So they're just fucking hiding it in other ways, which is bullshit, really, isn't it?
Yep. Anyway, Phil, what do you reckon on the signing?
I think they're paying some Saudi tax on these deals at the moment, but you've got to start somewhere. So you can't just turn up and say, "Oh, we're Newcastle now. Give us your best offer." Everyone's sort of like, when you're a tourist on holiday and everyone just sees you there with your pasty white legs and your floral t-shirt, and they just think, here comes money. So all the prices get turned around, don't they? And it's like, what was like $1.50 is now $3 because you're there. So it's the same with anyone Newcastle want to buy.
Yeah, and the thing is, he won the league 2 years ago. He's a starting centre back for Lille when they won it, like the year before last. He's only 22, so he plays in the Dutch team. So there is positives there. I've only seen him play a few times. I know him mainly from FIFA. It's a start. You've got to bring someone in. He's younger. He's an upgrade from Dan Burn, the Shells and Shah. He'll start every week. And it's a case if he does well, is it a case of him moving on? It depends. Newcastle needs a striker desperately, but if they needed a centre back, they've got one in now. For me, it's a good signing. 37 million is expected. It's what it is now with them. They know that they're going to have to spend about 10 million more. This guy would have cost them, if they had the money before Saudi, it would have probably cost them 20 million, even with what he's done so far. But so they've got to spend that. They spent 30 million on fucking Chris Wood, for fuck's sake. So.
When you compare it to that,
apparently that was a good deal. Apparently, no, it weren't. It was shit. He'll be on the bench.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
Guimaraes cost him what? Guimaraes, what's his name? Fucking name was he 30 million?
34, I think.
Yeah. So he probably would have cost 20. But he was going to cost that anyway because Arsenal were linked with him. So Newcastle were lucky to get him for that cheap. I think it's a good deal. I think they'll do well, Newcastle this year.
I think that, like you just said, Newcastle got a lot of centre backs on their books, but I think that Lascelles is leaving, isn't he?
Yeah,
I don't know if that's 100%, but Nick Pope shit. Don't rate him. Sorry. But yeah, I think Lascelles is leaving, but they've got a lot. They haven't let go of a lot of players yet. There's a lot
they've still got to get through a lot. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I remember with these signings as well, Newcastle aren't trying to win the league this season. They're trying to come in the top 7, so they're just trying to qualify for Europe.
It's a process. Man City didn't win it straight away, did they? They took 4 years. So 08, they didn't win it to 2012, and they didn't bring all the players in straight away. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a big signing near the end. But yeah, it's watch this space with Newcastle. It's a good deal for where they are. They'll be fine this year. They'll get better every year, and they will get there eventually. There's no doubt. As long as they got this money, they will get there. Last one before I ask the last question. Deal confirmed. Gareth Bale going to play golf in LA. Sorry, I mean football. He's going to go there on a holiday, not get injured, play the World Cup, and then probably retire. Is that what's going to happen here, Phil?
Yeah, all the Cardiff talk. If he'd actually gone there for moderate money, and like him and what's the other lad? One or two
Ramsey.
So if they'd both gone there and said, right, we're just going to play for Cardiff, we're going to try and get them promoted and then get ourselves to the World Cup, I'd have had a lot of respect for them.
Yeah, same.
But it feels like they sort of just dangled this carrot there just to say, oh, I'm just going there, I'm just worried about the football, just because people might think, shit, he's actually going to go back to Cardiff. We need to act now and get him. But if a Chinese club had come in, would he have gone there as well if the money was right?
Yeah, of course he would have.
So, yeah, I just think it's just a mercenary thing again. But he's making his money, he won't care. He's going to stay fit for Wales, which is all he worries about. But I still think if he'd done what he originally said he was going to do, or what we were made to believe he was going to do, I'd have took my hat off to him and said fair play.
What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, I'm not sure he has it anymore because when he was on loan at Tottenham, he didn't get much game time, did he? So I think he's a very wasted talent. 100% agree with Phil. I think he should have gone Cardiff. I don't know the geezer don't need any money. Like, why go to America? You're doing it for a payday, a holiday, and then to play in the World Cup. Go Cardiff. Do you know what I mean? If you are genuinely a Cardiff fan, if you genuinely give a shit about Wales, those fans were begging for it. Like, Brentford fans are begging for Erickson. Huh?
Got the Ryder Cup venue there to play golf.
Yeah.
No, I spoke to
embarrassing.
I spoke to a Cardiff fan. Apparently, they offered him 70,000 a week. So that's a lot of money for Championship.
Yeah.
So that's still a lot
is
of
a
money.
lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So I don't get it. But their league ends soon. Their league won't be all the way. So if their league ends in January, where is he going on loan? Will he care? So maybe he will make an appearance at some point. I think he stays there, plays golf, plays the World Cup, and then, he won't give a fuck.
He might have been scared he was going to get the shit kicked out of him in the Championship.
Yeah, well, he will.
I think he realised how tough that league is. And if he'd come and played for like a mid-table Prem team, he's got a level of protection. But if you could go and play in the Championship where like Cardiff aren't exactly in a winning position, are they? They're going to struggle for every single game.
Win-win, yeah. He doesn't have to, fair enough.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just wish more players are like Matt Letizia and were a bit more loyal. And you're already fucking minted. These players are minted beyond belief.
He had 700,000 a week in fucking Barcelona without the tax that he would get here.
Yeah,
so he's a millionaire.
They're so rich that surely you just go, do you know what? I'm going to do something a bit different here and have a fucking statue like
look what Rooney did. Look what Rooney did. Rooney went and played in the Championship, and he could have still played for someone like he could have still played for the bottom 5, bottom 10 teams in Premier League. He was still that good enough.
I don't know.
No, but he could have played.
He was shit in the Championship.
Well, he played centre mid, but Anyway, we'll move on. As of now, I know it's very early days. Who's having the best window? I'll go with you first, Phil. Who do you reckon's having the best window as of now?
I like what Tottenham are doing. I think Conte's just a bit like Nick Fury at the moment. He's just assembling his team, getting ready. But yeah, I think might be a little bit more action in there. But Conte knows what he's doing. And I think the Champions League football this year will be really exciting for him. And it seems like they've just added where they didn't have a second team basically to cover these European games. You look at the centre mid now; they've got Bentancur, Højbjerg, and Basuma.
And they got Skip as well. He's not a bad player. I'm not saying he's brilliant. But they've got 4 centre mids there. So
and where me and you always have a laugh about was it Winks and Co getting games and stuff? That's done now, isn't it? They've just got quality across the board.
Wings is shit. If they keep Kleberkeski, if he stays, that's a fantastic. Because Perisic is obviously going to play left wing back, so that's obvious. He's going to play left wing back. That's obvious. And he's looking. Spence is still their option for right wing back. So, and if they get Kleberkeski permanently and maybe a backup striker, Tottenham are going to look very strong next year. They will. Anyone else, Phil? Anyone else impressed you, or anyone else you?
Well, I think all the big teams we're really just waiting to see what they do at the moment. Like, not obviously like Darwin Núñez and Haaland. That's the big action. But I think if Arsenal get all the players they're linked with, including Tielemans.
Carry on, Phil.
I'm thinking about signing up to him though. Little part-time job.
Yeah, carry on, mate. You were saying about Arsenal.
Get some sponsorship. Yeah, if Arsenal get all the players they're being linked with, including Tielemans, then I think they would be at the moment having the best window. But obviously they've got to get all these deals over the line as well.
Okay.
But I'll go with Tottenham as of now.
Yeah, no worries. Jay, name a few teams, but what team for you's had the best window so far?
Yeah, 100% agree with Phil. I think Tottenham are being very smart with it. You got do you know what I mean? Conte is just a 10 out of 10 manager, so you expect it from him. But I think Newcastle signings, they haven't been necessarily stupid. I think they've been in positions they've needed. They paid a little bit more than the players should be valued at, but not loads, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal, for example, paid £72 million for Pepe. So Newcastle aren't going out and doing that. They're paying in the 30s and saying, look, like Phil said, we're just trying to build for 7th and not win the league yet. So let's be smart about it. Let's get young players for a bit more. Like you say, Botman's 22. Guimaraes is 25, I believe. So they've got a long time in them. And they're just building for the future. So I think they made some very good signings so far. No matter how much it pains me, because I fucking hate what they're doing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'd say obviously you'll always say Liverpool or Man City because they bought Haaland and Nunes in, but obviously apart from that, there's not much to really like. Newcastle for me, I'm very similar to Jay. I think they bought smart. I think they bought players they need. I think Nick Pope will be an upgrade in Dubravka. Target was a no-brainer.
Really?
Well, yeah, for me.
Surely Dubravka is above him. Surely Nick Pope's a backup.
Yeah, no, Nick Pope will start. He'll start. Dubravka is very similar to what's his name? Palace's goalie. He's average, and once someone comes in, he's gone. Because Sam Johnson will start for Palace for me.
Oh, you're throwing shade.
I think Sam Johnson will start for Palace, and I think Nick Pope will start for Newcastle.
Have you seen goalies like recently, like when you had like Tim Krul, Dubravka? It just seems like whenever you watch a Newcastle game, they're just making like 15 saves a game. They're impelled.
But yeah, Newcastle for me. I think the signing of Botman's a very good one. Obviously, we've done well so far. Jesus is a fantastic signing. I think it's a signing that we didn't expect to get, and I think if we can get Tielemans and maybe a centre back, then yeah, we've had a great window. I can't deny Tottenham have done really well. I think Persevic is a great signing, and I think you can't. Fraser Foster's a genuine backup. You could rely on him if Luis got injured. He's good enough to play in a stretch of games, and obviously Benzuma's a fantastic signing, especially for the money. Looking at other teams, not many teams. Aston Villa have done okay. I think Carlos, he's someone who's unproven in the Prem, but he's someone that might do well. I think they bought Kamara in centre midfield, Coutinho permanently. So you can't deny that they've done well. A few teams have bought the odd player, but no one else really jumps out. I think a lot of teams are still looking. I think Leeds have not actually done that bad. Now, they bought in a right back, which they needed. They bought in a new centre mid to replace Phillips for 10 million, Rocker, who does play, he seems to be a decent player. And that Arneson's a centre midfielder attacker that they needed. All three are unproven in the Prem, but they've tend to build players in. They bought three players for 57 million, and they're all going to start. And 3 players for 57 million in this day and age is not bad at all. And they're all players that have played with him before. They all know Jesse March, so he knows them. I don't rate March, but if he knows them, they've come on. So I think Leeds have done okay. But if I had to pick a team, I'd probably pick maybe Spurs just over Newcastle. But I think Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, I'm excited. I think Man United have had a really bad start. I think they needed to bet players in because I think the fans are unhappy. And, the more they don't sign someone, the more it's the owner's fault. No, it's the people that get the signings in, as Jay's already said. It's not the owners. They're willing to give the money. It's not their fault. It's the fault of the fucking directors and all that. It'd be interesting because obviously there's still loads to go. I think a lot of teams worrying me right now. I read a report today that Bournemouth are not looking to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they've only got Kendrick and obviously Fredericks and Rothman in, and Rothman's Kendrick's a certified backup in the Premier League, so he's not going to do anything for you. And Rothman's only ever played in the Championship, so that's a risk. Going on to Fulham because I know Mark's going to probably watching a wank. Mark, listen, they've been linked with a few decent players. I think Leno would be a great signing for them if he signed. Andre Pereira, who, by the way, couldn't get in Man United's second team. They're looking to buy him for 8 million, and they've been linked with these two players. Pilinio's not too bad. I think Solomon would be another flop. So they're looking to spend money where Bournemouth aren't. Nottingham Forest, they've been linked with Neco Williams, Maitland-Niles, Gibbs-White. Well, they'll go down if they sign them players. They're all not good enough.
And that Aribo from Rangers I see today as well.
Yeah, he'll be a good signing. And they signed that guy from Union Berlin, but it's Union Berlin. I've never heard of him. Cost 70 million. He did score goals. So it's interesting. I think a lot of teams are starting to do a bit of business. I think Brighton's done poor business. They spent 9 million on a 19-year-old that only played 1 year in Peru. And they signed a guy who scored 11 goals in one season he's played in Denmark. And he's someone I've never heard of. But they seem to always do this. They buy these players that no one's heard of and they become good players. It's interesting. So much more to do. I think a few teams have done well. I think Brentford needs to start get going, but I think the Erickson thing is really hampering them at the moment. I think they're waiting to see if they need to sign someone. I get that. I think once they know if he's coming or not, if they don't come, you'll see Brentford will start to get interested in an attacking midfielder. Anything else anyone wants to add? Anything? Oh, hang on. A lot of deals will be announced after the 31st. A lot of teams not confirming deals too. But yeah, I know that. And there's deals probably already in the pipeline. I know Fulham will announce the 2 players. I think they have got 2 signings incoming. But going to Bournemouth, Jay, do you worry for them if they stick to this plan, spending less money?
Yeah, because I don't think they came up convincingly. I think they kind of flopped over the end towards the end of the championship. So they got a little bit of quality in their squad, but not enough for me. So I think they're definitely in trouble. I think Nottingham Forest are definitely in trouble. Just for the pure fact that they had 5 loan players last year. Jed Spencer's gone Tottenham. Garner's gone back to Man United. So is he going to go back to Nottingham Forest? Don't know. So then they've got to spend on 3 players that were a regular team for them last year, and that hampers who else you buy. So, and that hampers who you buy. So yeah, like you say, I think Brentford kind of. I think it all depends on like these guys are saying on kind of FFP and when people can announce stuff. But so what's in the pipeline? Because nothing is actually official yet, is it? Like, there's not many of them are actually official. They're just waiting to be announced.
Only when the club announces it, it's official. So Haaland's official because they announced it. So
yeah, exactly.
So anything, there's a lot of deals agreed. Remember, there's so many deals that no one has a clue about. We didn't know about Fabio Vieira until the day it happened. So
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, I've got to go because I've got to realise I've got to pick Laura up. So, thank you again, Phil. Thanks for coming on to the transfer show. I know you're going to be busy now, getting done up the arse. So, thanks.
Yeah, by your list of names that I keep getting abused for when I share them with people, and it's not even my list. Listen,
bye. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Jay, thank you very much. Phil, fuck off. Bye.